This is a screenshot of what I've been searching on Google since I landed here in Leeds. During the day, I lead Spotify's artist partnerships efforts across West Africa. And in the night, I spend a lot of time thinking about how to make Nigerian jollof rice more accessible in the countries that I travel to. But today's talk isn't about me. It's about a movement that's powered by music. And I'll start by telling you guys a story. This is Alexander Waifo, a Nigerian producer who is also popularly known as Andre Vibes. He's the son of Sir Victor Waifo, a Nigerian musician and legend of the 60s to the 80s, who lived a very fruitful life before passing on just 2 years ago in 2021. To advance his career as a music producer, Andre relocated from the comfort of his hometown in Edo State, which is south of Nigeria, to Lagos State, which is southwest of Nigeria, and the pulse of Nigeria's music and pop culture in 2016. As you can probably imagine, this wasn't a very easy transition. At some point, Andre was forced to quit music production and took up a 9-to-5 job for survival. After a while, he made the audacious move of quitting this job and fell back to crafting beats, with the hopes that his styles would eventually align. As a result of this decision, Andre struggled to stay afloat. He eventually began to have accommodation challenges and would automatically begin to occupy the guest room in the apartment of a mutual friend. Whenever I would go by this apartment to visit my friend, I would find Andre either on his laptop making a new beat or by his speakers listening to an old one. But here's the good news. We're now in 2023, and one of the most successful African songs of all time was produced by Andre Vibes. And this song is called Calm Down by Rema. It is one of the first songs by an African artist to hit 1 billion streams on Spotify. Andre is also responsible for producing another global smash titled Rush by Era Star, and a handful of others, thereby making him a significant player in the Afrobeats movement that's taken over the world. Question for the audience. If you've never heard of the term Afrobeats or are unfamiliar with the music, kindly signify by raising up your hand. Oh, we have a lot of Afrobeats fans in the house. Well, I'll share with you guys a definition of Afrobeats by a Nigerian musician that goes by the name of Fields.
If I broke now my business, I'm a channel you go right. What's good, University of Leeds? This is Fields coming to you all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Afrobeat is a spirit, man. Like, I think it's a spirit before it became a sound. I think it captures the spirit of the African child and the Nigerian child, and it's just, how we, decide to tell our story, and the world is getting inspired by like our hustle and our story and our grind. And yeah, Afrobeats forever, man. To the world, we outside. Gigi.
For those who don't know, Afrobeats is an umbrella term for a brand of contemporary music that has its origins in West Africa, particularly Ghana and Nigeria. Some Afrobeats artists that you might know are Wizkid, Davido, Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, Jackie, Stonebwoy, Omale, Mr. Easy, Adekunle Gold, and a long list of African superstars. You see, the Afrobeats movement has become very significant and the world is responding to it. Not too long ago, Billboard launched an Afrobeats chart. A couple of months ago, the Grammys launched a new category called the Best Africa Performance category. And in the new report by Spotify, through a microsite that's dedicated to honoring the growth of Afrobeats, it is cited that Afrobeats was streamed more than 13 billion times in 2022 alone, and has grown by over 500% since 2017, securing listeners in Australia, parts of Europe, and parts of North America. You see, these are not just stats. And a testament to this is the fact that African artists have been congregating thousands of fans in stadiums and arenas across the world. African artists have been headlining some of the biggest festivals all summer. And African artists have been dominating charts in Europe, in North America, the Middle East, India, and everywhere that music moves. Of course, just like in the case of Andre Vibes, the story of Afrobeats wasn't always shiny. It is a story that illustrates the strength in consistent efforts. Growing up as kids, we lived vicariously through American music and movie stars. Many Nigerian millennials and Gen Zs will tell you that it was cooler when you declared your love for foreign artists than when you did for our local artists. The pride and patronage in our music was very little, and by extension, there wasn't enough incentive to create art that was authentic and local. This is J.A.J. the Macadon, a legendary Nigerian on-air personality. J.A.J. will tell you that from the late 90s to the early 2000s, the execution of Nigerian music wasn't all the way up to standard from a production, mixing, and overall sonic point of view. And this made our local radio stations favor foreign music over our own local music. However, this did not stop local producers, artists, and stakeholders from continuing to work hard at the art and committing to improve the quality of our music. And today, our music is now world standard. This is Alex Okosi, the man who led the launch of MTV in Africa in 2005. At the time of its launch, Nigerian artists were not making high-quality or MTV standard music videos because there were no resources and the mediums to platform these sort of videos. But after MTV arrived, local artists and stakeholders began to bootstrap to fund high-quality music videos. And eventually, a song titled African Queen by Two-Face would become the first Nigerian video to be played on the TV network. The lesson is, one tiny action at a time, across many, many years, different individuals were brave enough to take a chance on this precious brand of African art. As recently as 2015, African artists were raising their voices because the BET Awards typically honor them backstage or before the main broadcast. But today, African artists are being booked by the BET Awards as headline performers and also honored on the main stage. The journey of Afrobeats from obscurity to global dominance has been a very long walk, and it reinforces the fact that anyone that wants to make a dent in this world must not undermine the importance of daily, tiny actions. You see, it's true that Afrobeats is an infectious brand of audio expression that has taken over the world. But the truth is, Afrobeats represents much more than that. It is more than a spike on the dashboard of giant corporations. It is more than a poverty alleviation scheme for African creators, although this is true. As I observed, Afrobeats has also become a catalyst for self-love. It is a social innovation that is inspiring a new image for Africa. We have now opened up for the world to see Africa as more than these sort of pale images. Africa is also these vibrant and colorful images, as we have seen portrayed through series of Afrobeats music videos. For the most part of my life, only one version of the African story was mostly highlighted, and that's the unpalatable story that you're all familiar with. But here comes Afrobeats, an unbiased medium that now doubles as the continent's loudest social advocate. When you see a young Nigerian person seated by a computer, I want you to remember that it's capable of much more than just scamming vulnerable people on the internet. It's capable of building another billion-dollar tech startup like Flutterwave. It's capable of crafting melodies that become world anthems like CK. She's capable of harmonizing emotions like Thames. And is capable of galvanizing culture like Ashake, Burna Boy, and the long list of African artists that are fashioning the new image for the continent. A couple of months ago, I walked into a mango store on Broadway Road in New York. And I said to the store attendant that I needed a pair of black jeans. Not this one, by the way. And he said to me, "You sound very Nigerian." I said, "Yes, I'm Nigerian, and I just come in from Lagos State." And he said, "Look, I was just listening to the new Burna Boy song." I said, "Yes, indeed, Burna Boy is very fire. Can you point me towards the jeans section?" And he said to me, "Look, I plan to come out to Lagos real soon, perhaps in December." I said, "That's probably the best time to be out there in Lagos. You're going to have a lot of fun. But what I really need right now is a pair of black jeans." Of course, he finally proceeded to show me around, and we spoke some more about his favorite Afrobeat songs. Look, the point is, Afrobeats is a proven concept, but there's still so much work to be done. We have an infectious culture and a global community, but our local industry still needs structure. The globalization of Afrobeats is incredible, but we still need the infrastructure for African artists to be able to live off the strength of the continent's 1 billion people. If you take away the revenue streams that flow in from outside of the continent, most African superstars will become economically unsuccessful. Not every African artist is going to be a global superstar or continue to be one forever. So we need a local music ecosystem that can sustain its artists. In Africa, there are 54 countries, but the systems optimized for African artists to monetize sustainably through music consumption, touring, and merchandise across these 54 countries does not exist. Exporting the music is great, but Africa should not be isolated from the full experience of its expansion. Africans should not have to wait until December every year before they can see a substandard or overpriced version of the live Afrobeats performances that the rest of the world enjoys all year round. In Nigeria alone, there are over 100 million young people scattered across 36 states. But the proper venues, the arenas, and the systems to execute a successful local tour at scale still does not exist. Africa should not continue to be just an incubator region for export markets. It should also be a place where African arts and artists can flourish. So the goal of my talk today is really to plant a seed of awareness. Awareness that for all of the beauty, excitement, and opportunities that are being unlocked by Afrobeats, there's still so much work to be done. So those who have the ability to innovate and solve around access and monetization models within Africa's unique context are more than welcome to build with us. Also, as the scramble for Africa's share of voice and music catalog continues, I want to reiterate that our arms are wide open to doers, those who care about the future of a sustainable African music ecosystem and not just take from it. Thank you.